Hello and welcome to your 45-minute Hatha Yoga class. In today's beginner class, we'll be focusing on correctly building each pose while staying connected to our breath the entire time. We'll begin in a comfortable seated position. I'm so happy that you're here. Find that comfortable seat with the option of having a cushion or a blanket underneath of you to soften. Bring your eyes gently to a close and rest your hands on the tops of your knees. Invite your shoulders to relax down away from your ears and move your tongue off of the roof of your mouth. And now, without judging or labeling or analyzing, begin to turn your attention on to the feeling of breath as it flows in through your nostrils and then out through your nostrils. Notice the sensation that comes with breathing in, sipping up a full glass of air for your lungs, and then notice the friction that the air creates as it exits your body through your nose. Now begin to notice the temperature of this air and the difference in that temperature when you breathe in versus when you breathe out. There's no need to label this temperature. Simply invite your mind's eye to feel and focus on this feeling of air and breath. Whenever your mind begins to wander during today's class, simply invite your mind back to the experience of breath. Notice its temperature. Notice how your body moves differently as you breathe in different poses. Simply invite yourself to be present to the sensation of breath that we so often ignore. There is nothing that you need to do and nowhere that you need to be in this moment except for right here on this mat, giving this practice your full attention. I invite you now to set yourself an intention for today's class, whether that be a word or a phrase. Designate that intention and then let it go with a breath. Now begin to circle your shoulders up, back, and down a few times, continuing your steady breaths as you move. Take one more circle and then release both hands to the mat beside you. On an inhale, lift your arms up high and overhead, bringing your palms to touch over top of you. On an exhale, draw your palms down the center of your body, release, and then inhale them back up. Palms touch. Exhale your hands down the center. Inhale, lift your arms up, palms touch. Exhale, send your palms down the midline of your body. Inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale down. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale the arms up and pause when your palms touch. Exhale. Inhale. And then exhale your palms down. Inhale those arms right back up, but leave your palms separated, and exhale, relax your shoulders down. Inhale, reach high through the fingertips. And exhale, twist to the right. Left arm lowers on top of the right knee, right arm lowers behind you. Inhale back up through center. Exhale, twist to the left. Right palm plants onto left knee, left palm plants behind you. Inhale, come back through center. And exhale, twist to your right. Left hand on right knee, right hand behind. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Right hand on left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, find center. And exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back up through center and exhale, relax the shoulders. Take an inhale here, and on exhale, drop your right palm to the mat beside you and reach your left palm overhead towards the right. Inhale, lift back up through center. Exhale, left palm comes to the mat beside you, right arm reaches overhead towards the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right palm to the mat, left arm reaches. Inhale, find center. Exhale, left palm comes to the mat and right arm reaches. Inhale, up through center. Exhale, reach to the right. Inhale, up through center. And exhale, reach to the left. Inhale, up through center. And exhale, reach over to the right with that left arm and then sweep that left arm down in front of you, creating a big circling motion, tracing this circle with your left hand. Breathing in as you lift your arm up and overhead, and exhaling as you sweep it down and in front of you. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, down and in front. On your next inhale, lift yourself back up through center, and on exhale, relax the shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Right palm reaches over towards the left and then down and in front of you and across your space, then back up and down and across again to create big circles with your right arm. Inhaling as you move up and over towards the left. Exhaling as you move down and across. Now inhale, lift both arms back up through center. And exhale, release your hands down to the tops of your knees. Sweep both legs behind you and come up onto your hands and knees in tabletop position. Place your wrists right underneath of your shoulders and your knees right underneath of your hips. Inhale, drop your belly, arch your spine, tailbone and crown of head towards the sky. And exhale, push the ground away from you, round the spine, tailbone and chin tuck. Inhale, belly towards the ground, arch the spine, crown and tailbone towards the sky. Exhale, push the ground away from you, round the spine. Inhale, arch for cow. Exhale, round for cat. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. Push the ground away. Inhale, arch the spine, drop the belly. Exhale, round. One more. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Bring your spine back to a neutral position and walk both hands one full hand length forward. Scoot your knees back ever so slightly, and on an inhale, begin circling in one direction, moving back, passing through child's pose, and then up and over your hands. Inhale as you move forward in your circle, and exhale as you move backward. Now reverse the motion of these circles. Now inhaling as you move back through your circle and exhaling as you move up and forward. Continue breathing as you continue this motion a few more times. Now come back through center and walk your knees out to the width of your mat. Allow your big toes to touch behind you. Inhale, and on exhale, sink back towards your heels, arms extended long, and rest your forehead on the ground for child's pose, Balasana. Continue deep, steady breaths in through your nose and out through your nose as you hold here for a brief moment, releasing any tension that you're currently holding in your body that does not need to be there. Now walk both of your hands off of your mat and towards the left side of your space, opening up your right side body. Breathe steadily here, and then invite your body to reach just a little bit deeper, opening up your right side even further. Walk your hands back through center and then off of your mat and over towards the right side. Relax your forehead down, feeling as you've opened up your left side body now. Welcome and feel any differences from the other side to this one. Walk both hands back through center. Release your forehead back to the ground and stay here for a moment. Now slowly slide your palms back, planting them underneath of your shoulders, and push yourself up. Tuck both sets of toes underneath of you, and with your knees deeply bent, keep your heels and palms on the ground at the same time. Bring your palms up to the tops of your thighs and press yourself up to stand. Bring your feet parallel to each other at hips width distance underneath of you. Bring your hands to your hips and shift your weight into your left leg. On inhale, lift your right knee bent in front of you and begin circling out and back for a few times. Release your right foot down, shift your weight into that right foot, and then lift your knee and do the same thing with your left knee, circling up, back, and down a few times. Lower your left foot to the mat and release your arms down by your sides. Feel yourself grounding through all four corners of your feet. Notice your hips stacking over your ankles, and find length up your whole spine. On inhale, lift your arms up high overhead, and exhale, relax your shoulders back and down for Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a deep inhale and an exhale here as you hold, standing tall and taking up space. Inhale, reach high through the fingertips, and exhale, lower your arms down by your sides and find yourself at the top of your mat. Lift your hands to your hips and shift your weight into your right leg. Inhale, lift your left leg bent 90 degrees in front of you, and exhale, step that left leg back a full leg's length, landing on the balls of your toes. If you're feeling any compression in your low back, adjust your pelvis forward and backward until you find a comfortable place. Notice your front right knee tracking right over your ankle and energetically draw those legs together to stabilize you. Your hands can stay here on your hips, or on an inhale, lift them up in front of you at shoulder height or all the way up overhead for Virabhadrasana, warrior pose. Continue inhaling and exhaling steadily as you hold here. And reach back through your left heel towards the ground, drawing you into the ground, stabilizing your powerful warrior. On inhale, lower your arms down in front of you at shoulder height. And on exhale, shift your back foot in and down, coming parallel to the back of your mat, and lower your hands down to your hips. Find your right knee tracking right over your right ankle and square your hips and shoulders towards the side of your mat. Your hands can stay here for Parshavirabhadrasana, or on inhale, lift them high at shoulder height and fix your gaze over your right fingertips. Take an inhale and an exhale here as you hold. Once again, drawing those legs towards each other without moving them to ground you and stabilize you. Inhale and exhale. Release your hands down to your hips. Straighten that front right knee and re-square your hips and shoulders to the side of your mat. Stand nice and tall here. Inhale. And on exhale, sink into your left hip, sending it back towards the back of your space, leaning over your left leg. Stack your shoulders on top of one another and notice the length on both sides of your torso. Hands can stay here on your hips for Trikonasana, or on an inhale, draw them wide. Right hand coming towards your right leg and left arm reaching high towards the sky. Keep your weight light on that right hand, simply resting but not pushing or forcing, and take a breath here. Notice how the sensation and impact of this pose change as you hold it just a little longer. On inhale, bring your hands back to your hips and pivot yourself back up to center. Now draw your left arm down the back of your left leg, leaning back slightly, and reach high towards the sky with your right arm. Your left arm can stay here, or bend your elbow and rest your arm behind your back for a bind. Inhale, reach a little bit further through your right arm, and exhale, hold. Reverse triangle. Inhale and exhale, and notice the space that you create on your right side body as you reach just a little bit higher. On an exhale, release both hands back down to your hips and place a deep bend back in your right knee. Pivot your back left foot forward, facing the front of your space. Both hands come to the top of your right thigh and press yourself up to stand. Take a deep inhale here, followed by a long exhale, allowing your body to absorb the impact of the movement thus far. Stand nice and tall, finding length from your tailbone all the way up your spine and the crown of your head. Bring your hands to your hips and then shift your weight into your right leg, grounding down through the sole of your foot. Come up onto the balls of your left toes and turn that hip out, resting your heel on the inside of your right ankle. Your foot can stay here for Vrikshasana, tree pose, or lift it up to the inside of your right calf, or for a different experience, lift it all the way up to the inside of your thigh. Keep your gaze fixed on a non-moving focal point to help you with your balance, and draw your left foot and right leg in towards each other. Your hands can stay at your hips, come to prayer, or extend high towards the sky in a V position and relax the shoulders. Breathe in and breathe out here. And think about drawing that left knee back and down. Take one more inhale and exhale here in your expression. And then lower your hands back down to your hips. Step back down to stand And then shake it all out from head to toe, releasing all of the tension before coming back into stillness. Once you're still, place one hand on belly and one hand on heart. Gently close your eyes and turn your attention back inward and on to your breath. Notice how different your body feels from one side to the other, having now completed half of your asana. Take a final breath in and a final breath out, and then release your hands down and flicker your eyes open. Come back to stand at the top of your mat, feet parallel to one another, about hips width distance apart, standing nice and tall. Bring your hands up to your hips and shift your weight into your left leg now. Inhale, lift your right knee bent high in front of you. Exhale, step the leg back, a full leg's length or a bit shorter to help stabilize you. Once again, if you're feeling discomfort in your low back, adjust those hips until you find a good place. Watch as your front left knee tracks right over your ankle, and re-square your hips and shoulders towards the front of your space. Your hands can stay here, or on an inhale, lift them up in front of you at shoulder height or all the way up and overhead, and relax the shoulders. Take a breath here in your expression of Virabhadrasana, warrior pose. Reach back and down through your right heel as you hold here, and notice your breath and how your body feels in this side of Virabhadrasana as opposed to the other. Inhale, and on exhale, lower your arms in front of you at shoulder height. Breathe in and pivot your back foot in and down, coming parallel to the back of your mat. Windmill that right arm open right along with it, and watch that front left knee track right over your ankle. Arms can stay here or lower to hips at any time. If they're lifted, fix your gaze over those front left fingertips. Inhale and exhale here in Parsha Virabhadrasana, side warrior. One more breath in here, and on your breath out, lower your hands back to your hips and straighten that front left leg. Re-square your hips and shoulders towards the side of your mat and ground from your feet all the way up to the crown of your head. Inhale, and on exhale, sink into your back right hip, sending that hip back towards the back of your space as you lean over your front left leg. Stack your shoulders over one another and make sure you keep both sides of your torso long. Your hands can stay at your hips here for Trikonasana, triangle pose, or on an inhale they can spread wide. Left arm coming towards left leg, right arm lifting high towards the sky. Breathe here and know that at any point you can change the position of your arms or the depth of your lean over your leg to make Trikonasana comfortable for you. Keep your pressure of your left hand on left leg nice and light as you take another breath here. Inhale and exhale. Release both hands to your hips and pivot back up to center. Let your right arm travel down the back of your right leg as your left arm lifts high towards the sky as you lean back. Right arm can stay here or take a bind. Inhale and exhale. Reach just a little bit further. Inhale and exhale. Accompany your final breath here with one last reach, and then lower your hands back down to your hips. Place a deep bend back in your front left knee and pivot your back right foot forward to face the front of your space. Both hands come to the top of your left thigh and press yourself up to stand. Bring your feet underneath of you at about hips width distance and press your heels and your toes evenly into the ground as you stand your tallest yet. Feel the space that you create on all four sides of your ribs, lifting them just a millimeter higher away from your hips. Bring your hands up to your hips and shift your weight into your left leg. Come up onto the balls of your right toes. Turn that hip out and rest your heel on the inside of your left ankle. Stay here for Vrikshasana, or if you're curious, lift the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left calf or all the way up to your inner thigh. Draw your right foot and left leg in towards each other strongly to ground you and stabilize you. Press that right knee back and down. Arms can stay here, come to prayer, or grow your tree and extend your arms high in a V position. Be and breathe in your expression of tree pose. Gently come back to a standing position and shake out your feet, your arms, and your hands, inviting your body to release the tension. Come back to a place of stillness and place one hand on belly and one hand on heart. Notice now the impact of your movement on the other side. Notice how this left side of your body feels now compared to your right, having evened out your movement on both sides. Notice how these sensations change or grow or drift away as you stand here and breathe. Release your hands down, flicker your eyes back open once again, and come to stand back at the top of your mat. Feel the ground beneath you as it meets the soles of your feet, and lengthen your body from toes to the tip of your head. Inhale, lift your arms high up and overhead. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Inhale, reach up high towards the sky through your fingertips. Exhale, fold forward, hinge at the hips, bend the knees, and plant your palms onto the mat. Step one foot back, and then the other back to meet it for a brief plank hold. Option to gently lower your knees to the ground for a different experience, or stay elevated. Breathe here in and out through your nose, inviting sensation to linger and change. On an inhale, lift your sitting bones up towards the sky for downward dog and begin pedaling out your legs, bending one knee at a time, easing yourself in to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Allow both feet to fall towards the ground. Hug your upper arm bones and hands towards each other without moving them, stabilizing you in this pose. Allow your back to stay flat as your hips are sent up and towards the sky. Breathe here and take note of how different it feels to breathe in this inverted position as opposed to being upright. On an inhale, come onto your tippy toes and bend your knees towards the ground without letting them touch. Exhale, push back up to Adho Mukha. Inhale, bend the knees, send them towards the ground but not touching. Exhale, push back up. Inhale, bend towards the ground. Exhale, push. Inhale, bend. And exhale, push. One more here. Inhale. And exhale. Take one final deep breath here in stillness. And then slow and controlled, bring your knees back to the earth below you. Untuck your toes, walk your knees out to mats with distance. Big toes touch behind you and sink back into child's pose once again, Balasana. Draw your mind's eye to what feels different in your body, this time in child's pose, versus how your body felt during our first child's pose of class. Breathe and notice and be. Shift your hands back underneath of your shoulders and press yourself up, sitting on your heels. Sweep those legs behind you once again and come on to your sitting bones, legs extended out long in front of you with feet flexed up towards the sky. Sit up as tall as you can here, neck long. Now bend your left leg, planting your foot onto the mat below you. Open up that left hip and plant the sole of your foot on the inside of your right leg, somewhere between knee and upper thigh. Adjust your seat, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale. And on exhale, hinge forward at your hips, walking your hands forward until the hinge says no more. You can stay here, back muscles supporting you, or on an exhale, drape forward towards your knee for Janu Shirshasana. Your hands can come to your knee or your shin or your foot, or stay on the ground below you. Breathe in and out here in this asana. Simply allow this forward bend to be what it is, not forcing your body into any shapes that it's not welcoming. Bring your hands back to the earth and walk them back underneath of your shoulders. Inhale and exhale, press yourself back up to a tall seated position. Grab hold of that left knee and straighten it back to meet your right. Bend your right knee now, planting the sole of your foot onto the mat, and open up that hip, planting your foot on the inside of your left leg between knee and upper thigh. Sit up straight. Inhale. And on exhale, hinge forward at the hips once again, keeping a straight spine. Walk those hands forward until the hinge stops being voluntary. Stay here or drape forward towards your knee. Hands come to your foot or your shin or stay on the ground below you. Welcome the difference from the left side to the right as you sit here in this expression of Janu Shirshasana. Bring your hands back down to the ground and walk them under your shoulders. Then press yourself all the way back up to a seated position and extend that right leg long to meet your left. Now bend both knees and slowly, using your forearms, lower yourself down to lay on your back. Scoot your glutes a little bit forward to come closer to the back of your ankles and walk your feet to about hips width distance. Let your palms face down towards the ground and press the soles of your feet and the full length of your hands and arms into the mat below you. On inhale, lift your hips up about 2/3 of the way of their full expression, and then exhale, gently release them back down. Reground your feet and arms, and then inhale, lift up about 2/3 of the way. Once again, hold, and exhale, release back down. Inhale, lift the hips 2/3 of the way up once again, and on exhale, let your sternum shift towards your chin, lifting your hips just a bit higher for bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. Draw your mind to the places in your body where you're holding tension and angst and let it go with a breath. Your arms can stay here, or if you'd like to try something different, shift your weight on to your right shoulder and scoot your left arm underneath of you. Then shift your weight onto your left shoulder and scoot your right arm underneath of you. Clasp your hands and firmly press them into the ground, feeling as you gain a new level of support in this pose. Breathe in and breathe out, fully absorbing how it feels to breathe in this asana, letting your breath flow through you freely. If your hands are clasped, separate them and place them long beside you. Inhale, and on exhale, slowly begin lowering your hips towards the ground, vertebra by vertebra, going as slow as you can. Extend your arms long beside you in a T position and lift your legs up, knees bent, stacking right over your hips. Inhale, and on exhale, allow both knees to fall towards the left side of your space and turn your head so your gaze fixes over your right fingertips. Allow your body to completely melt into this supine twist and relax completely. Turn your head back to center, and on an inhale, lift your knees back up through center. On exhale, let your knees fall towards the right side now, and turn your head so that you can fix your gaze towards your left fingertips. Melt in once again here, allowing this supine twist to be supported by the earth below you. Turn your head back to center and inhale, lift your knees back up over top of you. On your exhale, curl in towards yourself, grabbing around the front of your shins or the back of your thighs as you curl up into a little ball. Now begin to rock forward and backward along the length of your spine, giving your back a nice massage here. When you're ready, slowly release and come to lay down flat on your back, legs extended long in front of you, palms facing towards the ground for grounding or facing up to symbolize energizing. Feel your body get heavier, pressing deeper into the ground the longer you lay here. Can you ask your body to let go just a little bit more with each breath you take as you lay here in your Shavasana? Begin to deepen your breath and start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, maybe rolling out your wrists and ankles, reacquainting your body with any tiny movement that feels good. Lay your arms long behind you now for your last full body stretch. Take a breath and then lower your arms back down by your sides and slowly turn yourself onto one side and push yourself up back into a comfortable seated position. Rest your hands gently back on the tops of your knees and sit up nice and tall, taking the longest deep breath in and the longest deep breath out that you've done yet. Draw your mind's eye to how your body feels now in the conclusion of your practice versus how it felt when you stepped onto the mat. I invite you now to circle back on the intention you might have set for yourself and simply notice if this intention would like to accompany you throughout the remainder of your day. Bring both hands to prayer at heart center and take one last deep inhale full of light and love, and exhale all which no longer serves you. I'm so grateful to have had you here practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this 45-minute Hatha Yoga class, and I look forward to seeing you next time.